Jamal Niaz here with the miracle himself, Lerone Murphy, deep in fight camp now ahead of the biggest fight of your career to date. First main event in the UFC at the Apex against Edson Barboza. Barboza's been a title contender way back when you was making your professional debut. This is a guy that no doubt you'll have watched for a long, long time as you was coming up and gaining your knowledge about the sport. How does it feel to be fighting him in the main event?
Well, yeah, it's a big fight. It's the biggest fight in my career, like you said. But I've worked hard to get here, and I knew it was always coming, these big fights. So we're well prepared.
You know, he showed that he's very beatable on the feet in his last fight against Sadiq Youssef. He was getting absolutely pieced up in the first 2 rounds. Is that a fight? And then you look at Bryce Mitchell loss that he had as well. Are they fights where you see that he's very beatable on the feet and you can take him down and control him on the ground as well?
Listen, only the elite of the elites beat Edson Barboza, but I know that this fight is one of them fights where if I beat him, I can go on to be a champion, and it's just like to see where I'm at really. And I think like my skills are elite as well, so it's going to be a good matchup.
You could be very strategic, mix up takedowns, control them on the ground as well, because he hits like a baseball bat. Every kick, every spinning back kick, every knee, it has serious snap to it. Yeah. But it's a part of you that's like, I want to put up a clinic on the feet, piece him up on the feet and get a knockout that will be remembered for years to come.
I'm just going to go the route that's most easiest for me. I feel like I'm good everywhere. So obviously I want to put on a good fight. I want to put the division on notice and show how good I am. So we'll see where the fight goes.
And obviously you were meant to fight Dan Ige earlier in the year. He went and beat Andre Fili in the fight that you were meant to have. Would you say that would be an ideal next fight for yourself?
I feel like this fight's a lot bigger than that fight, to be honest. No disrespect to Dan Ige, is a good fighter as well. Both elite fighters, but I feel like name value, this is a much bigger fight. And if I beat Edson Barboza, I'm looking at top 10s from there.
When you look at the top 10 in the division now, Aljamain Sterling's coming to that top 10 immediately with his win over Calvin Kattar. You've got Josh Emmett, who had the sickening knockout over Bryce Mitchell. You've still got Bryce Mitchell himself. So many killers at the weight class. Yair Rodriguez, Arnold Allen, your fellow countryman as well. When you look at those guys, do you have like a 3-fight vision in mind to maybe get to number 1 contender status? You have to pick 3 of those guys?
I think 2 good performances after this one, all going well, God willing. It's a title fight. It's all about performance. We've seen that already. It's all about who puts on the best performance, who's looking the dangerousness. And like this division that I'm in is the best division in the world right now, in my belief. So I'll fight any of them guys, and I'm sure I'll have bags of confidence after beating Barboza.
Stylistically, just in terms of those names in the top 10, who out of those names do you think you'd match up well with and you think that you'd put on potentially a fight of the year with? You like to trade, you like to throw down. We saw it in London last year. And Barboza was one of those names that I mentioned at the post-fight presser that I'd like to see you fight. So out of those guys, Yair, Josh Emmett, those sort of guys, I'd love to see you against those.
Yeah, I think Josh Emmett's always on the list. He's a banger, he's a good fighter. I feel like something like that. One of the strikers, obviously, no one wants to see a grapple fest nowadays. So if you're talking in terms of putting on a good fight for the world to see, it'd be one of the strikers, yeah. So like someone like Josh Emmett.
Yeah, you mentioned no one wants to see a grapple fest. Obviously, Aljamain Sterling clearly out-grappled Calvin Kattar at UFC 300, and you showed any grapplers out there, don't even bother trying to come to the ground with me after what you did to Makwan Amirkhani when he shot for the takedown. You flying kneed him, or just kneed him coming in, really. It wasn't necessarily a flying knee. Is that a warning to everyone out there? If you try and grapple with me, you're going to eat something on the way down as well?
Well, as a good striker, I make a lot of reads. So if a wrestler's always going to shoot, then that's what they're going to run into. But I feel like now you're getting into the top 10, people aren't that desperate for a takedown. You've seen already Aljamain Sterling, he struck with Kattar a bit and then just took him down. But there's levels to this, innit?
UFC Manchester's just been announced for July 27th. If you get it done fairly quick in a few weeks' time, you could potentially be on that card. Now, I know that you won't be stressing about that because you've got a massive task at hand, but it would be very ideal for you to be involved in that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, in the ideal world, but I can't look past Barboza. Like you said, it's the toughest matchup I've ever had. A big test. And I will just want to get in and out of that fight with no damage. And if I do, then of course I'll be jumping on that card. I've always wanted to fight in Manchester. It's always been my dream. So I'm pretty bummed out that it's a few weeks after my fight. But it is what it is. This is a big opportunity, main event. Couldn't ask for more. So let's see how it goes.
And obviously you fought on Tom Aspinall and Leon Edwards undercards before. You are a fast rising star in the sport and in your division, and no doubt that you'll be headlining cards over here now. First headline event coming up for yourself. Just in terms of the state of the sport at the moment, how exciting is it to be one of the flag bearers for UK MMA right now?
It's massive, and I'm proud, I'm proud of where I've got to now. I never would have thought I'd see the day. Like, I didn't start MMA for that, do you know what I mean? So UK MMA is massive right now. I'm looking at the amateurs, some of the amateurs in here, and like the level when I was amateur, even just turned pro, it's just totally different now. Like, the levels have risen, so yeah, I'm proud of that.
And just final few questions now. Looking at the top of your division, Max Holloway went up in weight class, delivered one of the most iconic moments in the history of sport against Gaethje. Yeah. Now looks like he could drop down and fight Topuria for the belt. Just the whole dynamic of that. What did you make of it?
Do you know what? At first, I was against the fight. I thought, like, what does it do for any of the fighters? Holloway fighting up a weight, Gaethje fighting Holloway, obviously. I thought, what would it do? But like, I feel like that's boosted up Max again now. It's made our division more exciting now. Everyone wants to see him and Topuria, so I feel like it's more intriguing now that he's gone and knocked out Gaethje. Everyone wants to see that fight. It's massive.
Topuria and Holloway, how do you see that one going, man?
Do you know what? Funny enough, I was watching Topuria's fight yesterday. I think it'll be a totally different fight with Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway could do it,
When you look at your goal of achieving the world title, is it almost as important to beat the likes of Holloway and Volkanovski on the route to that, or at some point in your career? Because their names now are almost in the same bracket as winning the belt, because their legacy is so huge.
Well, like you said, if it's in terms of legacy, you got to be beating them guys, because they're going to go down as greats. But in terms of like winning the title, it's always about the easiest route, or the simplest route to win the title. But I don't want that. I've never had that. I've always had easy fight, harder fights. So yeah, we'll be looking towards any of them guys. It's about legacy for me.
Amazing. Well, I know you're going to have to shoot off, so I appreciate the time. Yeah. Very excited for the fight, man. Yeah.